All right. Hi, good afternoon.
Yeah.
It's great to see you. Hi for everybody joining. I'm Grace Dowd, Major Gifts Officer at Charity Navigator, and I'm here today with Abby Feuer, Senior Vice President of Marketing and Community at DonorsChoose. Hi, Abby. Thanks for talking with us today.
I'm so excited to be here. Thank you guys so much for the invitation, and hi to everyone out there. It's an exciting day. So really, yeah, just has to be here.
Yeah, it's quite a big day. Happy Giving Tuesday, everybody. um, I really think that this day is so filled with inspiration and energy. It's pretty exciting to be able to participate in it. Just a reminder for everybody, Giving Tuesday started in 2012. Uh, and it's a global day of giving along the same vein as Black Friday and Cyber Monday. So a really wonderful time for donors all across the world to donate to causes that they care about. So a lot of you who are tuning in might be familiar with DonorsChoose, but some may not. So Abby, can you tell us a little bit more about DonorsChoose and about what you guys do?
Absolutely. And yeah, we were actually one of the founding members of Giving Tuesday alongside the 90-Second Why. So we were reminiscing about that today at DonorsChoose, that first year that we kind of were just telling our donors about this thing that was created to inspire giving. And now it's a number of years later, and it's become such a kind of a global sensation that drives donations to charity. So we're so grateful for the day and excited to participate again. And like Grace said, hi, I'm Abby. And I lead the marketing team at DonorsChoose. And DonorsChoose is a website that helps public school teachers get funding for their classroom. So any public school teacher can come to our site, request what they need for their classroom, anything from, and it may be a virtual classroom today, or it may be in person. They can ask for pencils, computers, rugs, a field trip or a virtual field trip for their students. And then donors can come to our site and give to the project that speaks to them. So a lot of our donors like to give by a specific community. So you can search for where you live or where you grew up. They like to give a book that spoke to them as a kid to other students who might not have access to that resource. Or they choose something like I like to give to volleyball projects. I played volleyball as a kid. And in today's day and age, a lot of our teachers on DonorsChoose are really asking for the basics to support their students. So, districts and school systems are covering things like working really hard to get technology items to teachers like computers and Wi-Fi access. But one of the things that's really lacking today is accessories, right? So let's say like a student gets a computer, or a teacher gets a computer from their district, they might need headphones to support learning in their classroom. So we can talk more about that and what's happening in COVID, but all in all, teachers use our site to get what they need. And about 75% of schools in America have a teacher who's used our site, and we focus in particular on the communities with the greatest need.
Wow, that's so incredible. I think it's really impactful, and it's amazing that donors are able to see exactly what teachers need and what classrooms need, and highlights how much the basics are required. I was pretty excited today. I was using your search function to figure out the classroom projects, or what the need is in classrooms near me. Pretty incredible to be able to look that up and to choose who I get to fund, and or what, as you said, the type of project, in addition to the geography. Pretty incredible. And you are DonorsChoose is a 4-star rating on Charity Navigator, so that's pretty incredible as well.
Yeah, and often when we explain how our site works to a prospective donor or partner, we say it can feel like a crowdfunding site, right? Where we're the number one crowdfunding site for public school teachers. But what makes us truly different in that regard is that we have a ton of transparency and integrity measures to ensure that, one, the people creating requests on our site are actually teachers. So we verify their email. We send all these messages to the school and the principal to let them know that teachers receiving items. But most importantly, we actually fulfill these requests once they get funded. So we send materials directly to the classroom or that flexible shipping address in the age of COVID to get the materials right in the hands of students and teachers versus sending a check. So you can really trust that, whether you know the teacher or not, that donation is reaching them for what you saw on the website that you were going to support. What are you guys doing over there? I feel like you're talking to so many different charities today. What are you doing on your end for Giving Tuesday?
Yeah, so we, for anybody who doesn't know, are the world's largest and most trusted evaluator of nonprofits. So we help donors answer that age-old question of how do I know my donations are going to be used efficiently and effectively. So we rate over 160,000 nonprofits across the country. So today, Giving Tuesday is a day to really uplift the nonprofit sector and to allow donors the opportunity to give to causes they care about. So today we have had 2 Facebook Live interviews with one with Giving Tuesday, the organization itself, one with UNICEF USA, and then later this afternoon we'll have an Instagram Live with the Black AIDS Institute. Today's World AIDS Day. So a pretty big day for us to really highlight some of these orgs doing incredible work and to just hear how donors are involved with them and see how they're doing good in the world. I will say the other thing that's pretty incredible as Charity Navigator is we see a lot of the gifts coming through. We have a giving basket that allows donors to give through our site. And so we get to see, the increases in gifts or the, just general cause areas that gifts are going to. So even this year during this pandemic, we've seen a 115% increase in gifts going through our giving basket since the pandemic started from the year before. So it's a pretty incredible opportunity to see all of this good and this philanthropy, people giving to what they care about. So what about y'all? What are y'all doing this Giving Tuesday?
Sure. So today we think of Giving Tuesday really as the kickoff of the holiday season. So December is a big month for us overall. This is the first day of December this year. So this is the kickoff moment for us. And in particular in this year where I think teachers have really been the center of the conversation, right? We know that kids are often learning in new ways. We know that the classroom looks quite different this year. And we know that the role of a teacher has always been much bigger than just teaching students what they, math or science in the classroom. They're supporting them socially and emotionally. They're providing food in the school. They're really a caretaker and someone who cares so much about their students. So this year in particular, as we think about the holidays, we've been thinking, how do we keep recentering folks on the idea that education is incredibly important, and the fact that we're in a moment in American history where kids might be a full year behind in their academic achievements because of the pandemic. So as we've been gearing up for Giving Tuesday in this month, we've been asking a lot of those questions of ourselves and how to communicate about this moment for teachers. So Giving Tuesday is the start. And today we have a 2x match on our site, thanks to our partner, the photo sharing app Family Album. And we that means that any project on our site, if you come, you search in that way that you want to, your donation is going to be doubled. So that $50 will become $100. And we think of this as when you make a donation on our site, and that can be anywhere from $5 to much more, that donation reaches a single teacher, and you'll have that opportunity in checkout to write a message to the teacher. So we're thinking of today as a celebration of teachers, as a moment to show them support with that message. And then you'll actually get a reply from the teacher, which we've been reading them.
Wow.
That are so heartwarming as they see the day. Some of our teachers have been writing poems, doing some very creative things, but really just getting those genuine words back from a teacher. So make sure you visit DonorsChoose and give to that match, and also just send some words of support and encouragement to teachers today.
Yeah, this year has been pretty challenging for teachers. I mean, what a way to honor their incredible work and everything that they're doing right now with all of the changes happening, to be able to support them and give them some love and some generosity. That's incredible. I really think that matches are really an amazing way to just work as a team together to really fund these opportunities. We're doing the same thing. We've got an opportunity to match donations today, 2x as well, up to $70,000. And really it's a beautiful way to really work together to fund these important efforts. So yeah, I'd love to hear a little bit more about this complicated year for teachers. I mean, teachers are a lot, their needs are maybe different, maybe more. And how are your donors responding, and how are they meeting that need for this big year?
Yeah, it's been a fun year in some ways with our donors. I think similar to how you and I are here on Zoom talking,
Right.
our houses. I'm trying to make
Right, my home.
back and my bike in the background. But we're getting more personal with our donors. There's been so many fun stories of them sending us photos of themselves in a mask, or one of our donors sent us a picture of Dial and a hand sanitizer, saying those are some of his new best friends. We had more personal moments with donors where they've shared information with us about their giving or their aspirations in terms of their involvement in the future as school administrators, or why they care about education in a way that they might not if they were sitting in their office next to someone else who could hear them, where, you know, these more intimate details have been powerful in the conversations. And I know that in the field that you work in at Charity Navigator, you're probably seeing some of that too. But on a meta level, we're seeing our engaged donors come out strong this year. And that's a really promising signal for us as we head into the rest of the year. Our year, I know everyone thinks of December 31st as the end of the year. Our kind of fiscal year as an organization is actually with the school year. So we feel like we have a lot ahead of us to see how folks continue to support DonorsChoose. But we've been really heartened by folks coming out and giving that way. And lastly, you know, I think I mentioned this earlier, but our model, you know, with this year of teachers, our model is one of the only ways to actually directly connect with one teacher, one classroom of students, and know your dollars are going there. We talk about, before DonorsChoose existed, there wasn't a way on the internet to find an individual classroom, an individual school, and give to that teacher. Mm-hmm. And so we're seeing that really resonate this year, especially as folks can't always give as much as they could in the past, but they know that a small gift will make a big difference on our site.
Yeah, that's really incredible. And I think that it really speaks a lot to the ability of highlighting impact and transparency about where your gift is going, what good it will do, and getting kind of some knowledge about that. We've been focusing a lot on impact this year for a few reasons, and would love to ask a little bit about your impact. But the big thing for us, we this year launched an entirely new rating system to rate more nonprofits across the nation. And we recently, in October, launched a new metric for how to rate them based on impact. Because in addition to donors wanting some financial transparency and some accountability from the donor donations that they're giving, we want to be able to show what the actual impact is, what their gift has done. And I think it's really important to donors. We did a survey, and it showed a lot of donors really care about this. So I'd love to hear a little bit about that impact, the visibility of impact, and how DonorsChoose uses that to convey this good work.
Yeah, I'm so interested in how other organizations are thinking about this. You probably have such a unique view into that. Yeah, so we think about impact as the dollars to classrooms. So how much money are we funneling into schools? And in particular, what percentage of those funds are going to the schools with the highest economic need, the communities that have, you know, the reason Charles Best started DonorsChoose 20 years ago was because he was a Bronx history teacher in a classroom where he found himself photocopying Little House on the Prairie one day because he had one copy for all of the students. And he thought to himself, God, if people knew that I was doing this, you know, if folks knew that a teacher might walk into a classroom, a pre-K classroom without a rug, or that this year, I mean, really what's so interesting, teachers are having to rethink what the classroom experience looks like, even if they are in person, because there used to be so many shared items, but, you know, kids can't be sharing toys anymore or manipulative. Right. So you need one for each individual student. And he kind of thought, you know, if people knew that this exists, that they'd want to help. So that idea of just getting money into classrooms, and especially in communities where there's less funding, is the be all end all for us in terms of impact. And we show that to donors on the individual project level by bringing them along once the project is funded. So when you give on DonorsChoose, you get, that receipt, you get a message from a real teacher saying, usually thank you, maybe something fun for your donation. And then once that project's fully funded, the teacher submits an impact letter and thanks and photos so that you can really see that impact in action. And those usually really do, they can be very moving and make you feel really confident that those funds reach the community in the way that you expected. And one other really exciting thing related to impact this year, one of our aspirations as an organization historically has been to be able to tie the impact that we're having to something greater in terms of educational outcomes, something greater than just that funding, which matters. And we know it matters, right? Because we hear stories all the time from teachers and from students with that one book changing that kid's experience and making them love reading, or them seeing themselves in that book. We're seeing a lot of projects for diversity and books that represent different identities today in the classroom. So those moments and those projects make a big difference. But we just completed a study with the University of Michigan, which actually demonstrates that $400 funded in DonorsChoose materials does have an impact on student outcomes and their ability to succeed above average grade level. So we just started to share that information publicly, but it's made us feel even more confident in using that funding number as the be all end all, knowing that it does lead to those educational outcomes as well.
That's incredible. I mean, I'm really glad y'all were able to do a study to supplement what you can see within each classroom. That's an incredible program. I mean, that's beautiful. That's huge. Yeah.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Yeah, and I mean, it's really impressive to be able to, as a donor, as somebody looking from the outside in, unable to help in the classroom, how can I give something that is meaningful for, a student in a classroom and a teacher to help create that. Really incredible to be able to show this study. And it's something that we've actually talked a little bit about as we think about how each nonprofit can show impact and show kind of the results of their work, because it's different for every single nonprofit. And each general area is going to have a different way to analyze success and really understand what impact means. And that you were able to work with, you said the University of Michigan, to be able to produce that study is really incredible. And I know that will make your donors really, really proud. And it's great to see it able to, be shared.
Yeah, is there anything else we should be thinking about from what you guys have learned from your impact analysis or the feedback from your community? I know we in organizations that are front and center working to listen to our users, to listen to our supporters and understand what they need and evolve in that way. So if there's anything else that was really interesting there, I'm sure we can learn from you guys too.
Yeah, we're really working, and I will say my colleagues are really the experts here, working with other experts across the sector to really figure out the best ways for each kind of cause area to understand a financially sustainable way to study their own impact. And it's exciting to see. Right now we're rating about 1,100 nonprofits in their impact, in using the impact and results beacon, mostly focused on kind of some direct service, like some organizations getting clean water globally. And so we're working towards better practices and methodologies for other cause areas. And I will not lie, I'm not the expert there in understanding. It's a really
thing though across different sectors.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a whole lot of difference from organization to organization on what, number one, what do we call a success? What do we call impact? What is the goal of what we're trying to do? And then we're looking at what it costs to make that happen, but not in a way that devalues the fact that it's happening, right? So it's a work in progress as we try to scale up how we can rate this specific metric in more organizations, because donors are really looking for nonprofits that can show them what their dollar is going to do. We're really increasingly seeing people gravitate towards understanding, $400 is going to make a life-changing impact on someone. I mean, that's powerful. That's a pretty incredible thing. Earlier today, one of the nonprofits that I plan to give to later in the day on Giving Tuesday shared, it's an environmental nonprofit, and they said, X amount of dollars helps protect 1 acre of land, and that sort of thing. That is it powerful, being able to understand just what your dollars will go to. It's a hard time to be, looking at our money, and we want to make sure it's powerful. I'm really looking forward to also picking one of my projects on DonorsChoose and giving to my high school up the street. There's a couple of projects open.
Make sure to do it today.
I will. I absolutely will. Again, I love a match. I mean, there's a lot that's beneficial there. The nonprofit gets a lot of financial stability and support, especially right today. It's such a big day for the giving season. We're kind of kicking off this month of generosity, and today's an important day. I will do it today. I'm very excited about it. Yeah, and I'd love to hear about you, if there's any either projects or organizations. You mentioned volleyball projects, but if there's anything specific that you're excited about giving to today.
Yeah, no, I've definitely been, I've been really compelled by the projects that are asking for basics, to be honest. There was one where a teacher is teaching a virtual art class, and Miss Willard in Ellenwood, Georgia, in high school, where she was actually screening care packages of, drawing pads, paints, items for her kids to take home so they could actually have those materials, because the home in a lot of cases has become a classroom. So I've been really compelled by projects like that one. Another on the other end of the spectrum is this project that's at this pre-K teacher on our site, Mr. Andy in New York City submitted, which is he's asking for puppets that are puppets of him and the rest of the teaching staff for pre-K, because it feels like teaching pre-K over Zoom is not very compelling. And so he has this idea that if he could get on here, I mean, imagine if I was a puppet on this, like how much more exciting would that be, for
Yeah.
all of us adults. So I thought that was just a genius idea. He found this person who can make these puppets of specific people. So I think there's really that gamut. I've been drawn to projects that are either like really far on that basic spectrum, or requests that are these like incredibly creative ideas. We had a teacher recently ask for gift cards to McDonald's that she was sending kids. One of the biggest challenges right now, especially in the communities most in need in the US, is that kids are not making it to school because of so many of the challenges of getting on virtually, and absenteeism has become a really big issue in classrooms. And she was sending McDonald's gift cards with a personal note to all of her students, introducing herself and trying to get them in the classroom to meet her the first time. So I'm compelled by those two ends of the spectrum. And outside of that, I mean, my husband and I were just talking about that for this giving season, and we're really going to direct dollars towards the ACLU, as well as the Equal Justice Initiative. We feel like supporting human rights, especially around identity and the world that we live in today. Equal Justice Initiative is an amazing organization that supports Black men and women who are wrongfully accused or incarcerated, and getting them out of the criminal system. And they do so much more than that. And so we've been really moved by their work this year, and we'll be supporting them in addition to maybe one or two local charities like the shelter where we got our dog.
I mean, that's incredible. I think that's really common. People are really looking for local, regional, and national, kind of looking at the spheres that you want to give to. And I will say one other plug for Equal Justice Initiative. It's in Alabama, and I'm from Alabama, and I love their work as well. They're on my list. That's really incredible. Thanks so much for sharing all of these causes that you care about, in addition to the work that you're doing for DonorsChoose. I think that's pretty powerful. And I'd love to see if there's any last things that you want to share about for donors to do, how to get involved, what specifically they should do on your site, recommendations for them.
Yeah, just visit DonorsChoose.org today. Take advantage of the match. It will be going until midnight tonight. But find a project that speaks to you and something that you care about, or a community that you care about. That's really the action. And make sure when you make a donation, whatever size, that you leave a message for the teacher, because those mean so much to our community. And we found teachers tell us all the time that the donation feels like so much more, not just to them, but to their students, that, you know, it means so much to know there's people out there that they don't know
Mm-hmm.
who are providing them with these materials and opportunities that they wouldn't have otherwise. So check out our site today, find a specific teacher, take advantage of the match. And also just make sure that you give today, whether it's to DonorsChoose or otherwise. It's an important day for all of us in the world of nonprofits and giving back. So, we thank GivingTuesday for that, and really appreciate, Grace, the opportunity to join you guys today. We're such fans of the work that you do, but also just appreciate what you do for the sector.
Well, thank you. I'm so glad that you were able to talk to us. We feel the same way. You're doing amazing work, and we're happy to be able to highlight it. I will say one thing. Earlier today, as we were talking about GivingTuesday being an important day for the sector, in our conversation with GivingTuesday itself, one quote spoke out to me: "Keep it up. We've got to end strong." This year has been a really hard year for a lot of people, but we've seen so many donors step up and really give in a time of need for a lot of organizations really hurting and really needing to do important work as our need across the country has gotten higher. So I will say, if you've got any other questions about how to give this GivingTuesday, we have a resource center on charitynavigator.org. You can check it out on our homepage. It'll help you give some tips on how to give, where to give, and finding high impact nonprofits doing work you care about. And I will say one other time, I am a fundraiser. I'm going to echo what Abby said. We also have a match going. Whatever it is, wherever you give to, whether it's DonorsChoose, Charity Navigator, or other organizations. This is a day of giving, and it's a really wonderfully important day for all of us in the nonprofit sector. So anywhere you can give is greatly appreciated. So again, Abby, thank you so much for joining me today, and best of luck the rest of this GivingTuesday and the rest of the giving season.
Awesome. And hi to all the teachers who might be watching on our page. You guys are amazing. I have to end by saying that for DonorsChoose, y'all are doing amazing work, and we're so lucky to have you and work with you at DonorsChoose. And thank you again, Grace.
Thanks. Have a great rest of your GivingTuesday, everybody. Thanks for watching.